Hello, welcome to another first appearance rating video. Let's start out with a modern character, Bishop. I brought out both my copies. I bought these off the rack when they first came out. And I had to say that, when at the time when Jim Lee started to become extremely popular, another artist that caught my attention was Weiss Portacio. I think that's how you pronounce his name. From the Philippines. And I really enjoy Weiss Portacio art style. It's somewhat similar to Jim Lee, but close, but there are some differences. Now, issue 282 and 283 is Bishop first appearances, even though he only showed up on the last page of this. There we go. This is the last full page. There, the first time Bishop popped into the picture. And from what I was told, the other two character is actually a self-portrait of, the artist, Weiss Portacio right here. But look-wise, I think he's okay. Power-wise and look, I give him a 3 out of 5. It was not something good or bad or didn't really wow me. It was interesting. Certainly, the story is decent. One reason why I think this book, not that it's that valuable now that the movie is gone and the hype is gone. More people consider this to be the key compared to this, even though he's only in one page here. He's on the cover, unlike Hulk 180, 181, where Wolverine appear on the last page but not on the cover. There are some slight differences as why the market think that this is a more important key book for what it's worth, right? But I can't say enough about how much I love Weiss Portacio work. As you can see right here, just look at some of these beautiful panels. In my opinion, outside of Neil Adams, when it comes down to like drawing Iceman, just look at that. I love the way how he drew Iceman. Gorgeous. There's something about the way Weiss Portacio drew Iceman that I think is just beautiful. My favorite rendition of Iceman for sure. So there you go. Bishop. The story here, I give it also a 3. So altogether a 6 out of 10 for the first appearance of Bishop. Nothing earth-shattering. Next up is a book I bought. It must be 14, 15, at the early days of eBay. Okay, back in 1999, 2000. I bought it raw, and then about 4 years ago, back in, probably 4 years ago, I submitted with a bunch of books and got a 9. So here's my beautiful copy of X-Men 14. First appearance of the Sentinel. There you go. I'm trying to get the glare out of the way. Great introduction. I can say that, the X-Men in the Silver Age, up until this point, outside of Magneto, and of course Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, I can't say I'm a big fan of much of anything else that was introduced. The Juggernaut, sure, he's okay too. But if you look at Juggernaut, Magneto, Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver, the rest is I really don't care for. Especially when you throw in Toad and the Blob. Never a big fan of those two characters. But when the Sentinel came around, I felt that this is one of the better iconic X-Men Silver Age covers. Okay, most of the X-Men covers I didn't find to be too exciting. It didn't wow me, compared to, if you look at earlier Spider-Man covers or Fantastic Four or Avengers, they tend to have much more memorable cover, things that jump out as great art. Here you do have a beautiful cover, mainly because it have a lot of red in it. But the Sentinel is cool even at this look. Okay, the Sentinel's look has evolved and changed significantly over the years. Okay, so for this I gave it a 4 out of 5 as far as name, look, appearances, power. Certainly, part of me, would have gave the Sentinel 5 out of 5 if they were not robots. I knocked them off one point because at the end of the day they're not intelligent being that can that don't need to be controlled. But as far as the story, it's okay. It's a typical Silver Age story, short, simple. I gave it a 3 out of 5. Nothing of shattering about the story, but 4 out of 5 for the look, appearance, and the name. 3 out of 5 for the story. So you get 7 out of 10. I love this copy. Definitely one of my favorite Silver Age X-Men book for sure. Last but not least for this video is a female character, and to me another one of those in my opinion mishandled characters of the Marvel Universe. Valkyrie. Okay, definitely the sign of the time. You're talking early 70s. You're talking about the feminist movement. So here's a character that right off the bat they put her origin as basically a feminist, a man hater. As far as the look and the name, I like it. I give this character a 4 out of 5 right off the bat because I really like the way John Buscema drew her. The look is pretty cool. The art inside, which I'll give you a close-up look to this book at the end of the video. The art inside by John Buscema and Tom Palmer is great. Okay, it's really good, but the story is not to my liking. I struggle with the story because I felt it was a complete mess. I give the story a 2 out of 5. One of the lower score that I can give. It wasn't bad, but it's one of those stories where I felt too much was trying to put in here, and it was just like too much, too little, too short. They could have easily expanded this into 2 or 3 issues, and at the end of the video when I show you the interior of the book, you will see, hopefully you understand my point of view. But so the character get a 4 out of 5 as far as name, power, and look, but the story only get a 2. So this is only a 6 out of 10. And Valkyrie origin is, in my opinion, one of the weaker one. It has a lot of potential, but I just didn't like what they were doing. And certainly, one of those character where her name is not Valkyrie, it's the Valkyrie. It's kind of a bizarre concept that they put into her, and over the years Marvel has changed the host of the Valkyrie, right? For those that are familiar with the character, to me it's would have been better off to have one person as Valkyrie and just have it Valkyrie instead of have it some kind of essence, power that can be transferred from host to host. it just didn't work for me. I dislike how they handle her character in many of the series over the many years. But I'll give you a closer look of this book. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Okay, so here's a close-up look of Avenger 83. Beautiful copy, fairly sharp, very little flaws. The biggest flaw of this book, unfortunately, is foxing. Beautiful corners, but you can see it looked like stain, but that's foxing, and that's unfortunately on both the back and the front cover. So here you have, look at that. Look at that double splash by John Buscema. Pretty cool. Awesome drawing right there. Look at that. I love it. So here you go. You have her pop in there. And here's a quick blurb. It's like I said, the origin is fairly weak in my opinion, because here you have her being overworked by her male boss to a point where she passed out, and then she woke up right there and have power. Come on, can't be serious. And then this book, the best part of this book though is actually here. Okay, you have another one of those Rutland, Vermont parade. Okay, and Tom Palmer is actually drew in here, and then you have Roy Thomas and his wife. Look at that, they drew themselves into the story. One of the rare occasion. So you have the rest of the Avenger here fighting the Master of Evil. Like I said, I have no complaint with the art, because John Buscema is, of course, John Buscema. Fantastic action. It's just the story is a complete mess. And then, of course, the Liberators show up to help out the Avengers. As you can see right here. And then the Enchantress popped in. And then they defeat her, and that's it. I mean, in a nutshell, even though I didn't go into great detail, you can see why the story is a complete mess, in my opinion, as far as what I felt as I read through that book. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye.